Welcome into another episode of Sports Talk. I'm Mackenzie Blaze alongside Aaron Mukes. And Aaron, it's opening day today, not for the Braves, but for everyone else. How are you feeling about it?
Major League Baseball opening day is always kind of a special thing. We have a rich history in this country, America's pastime, opening day. A lot of people take off work, go to bars, watch all the games. We were kind of watching a game earlier in the newsroom that took forever, kind of messed up our 4 p.m. newscast. But opening day, it's always a fun time for me. But I was up late last night watching college baseball. And so I got a little bit of Major League Baseball today, a little bit of Major League Baseball yesterday, but it's always a good time.
Well, the Braves, they're going to take on the Royals tomorrow. I get to be there, which I'm very excited about. But the Braves already dealing with a couple of struggles before Game 1 even happens. Just a slew of injuries. I mean, what is this, 8 people, 9 guys out? You got Spencer Strider, he's going to be out. Ha-Seong Kim suffered just a freak accident. He tore his right finger tendon when he was back home in Korea. He slipped on ice. They have 4 starting pitchers out, 7 total pitchers out. And it looks like Spencer Strider might be eligible for reactivation April 6th. And then a couple of guys might return after the All-Star break. But they did announce that they have a starter, which is Chris Sale. He's a 36-year-old left-handed pitcher. 2024 Cy Young winner, 9-time All-Star. What do you think about him getting the start?
Listen, it's Chris Sale. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's had multiple years in this league. He's a veteran. You mentioned the 9-time All-Star. This is a guy that's started for 3 different teams now on opening day. And I think when you have a pitcher like that with that much experience, you have to like that he's going to be on the bump in Game 1.
Yeah, well, with all these injuries, especially with the pitching staff, right-handed pitcher Bryce Elder is making the most of a bad situation. He makes the opening day roster for the first time in his career, despite having the most starts for the Braves since 2023. And here's what he had to say about it.
Do we have that soundbite?
Oh, there we go.
In that conversation for about 3 years, so all you can do is kind of go pitch and let the chips fall how they may. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, I think throughout the season there's a lot of ups and downs, and to be able to finish like that, I was pleased with it. But yeah, you know, kind of take the good from that and try to repeat it and be as consistent as I can be.
So opening day in the A, it'll be Royals versus the Braves. And I'm excited for this one. What are the expectations like in Atlanta with such a unique situation with all the injuries?
I think the Braves are looking for a bounce back. If you remember last season, they did not start the year well. And by the time we got to, mid-June, it was like they were out of it. So I think this year, we're looking for a squad that comes in a little bit more urgency up front, even though despite the injuries, maybe we can see a team that gets off to a hot start. I think that's the most important thing, getting off to a good start so you don't fall behind, especially in a division that has the Mets and the Phillies, who are supposed to be really good this year. And, you know, there's always the Nationals at the backside. But
despite all the injuries, they did finish spring training 21-7, I believe, and they were first in the MLB. I mean, how does spring training kind of transfer over to the regular season? Does that mean anything?
I mean, it definitely matters. You're getting guys' innings looks early. You're trying to get guys' arms up to speed. Batters are getting their timing and their rhythm down. And I know we're going to get into opening day a little bit later, but hitters usually start a little slow because they're trying to figure out their timing. But we saw a number of teams put up a lot of runs today. So I think it's going to be important. You get Ronald Acuna Jr. back. That lineup is stacked top to bottom when you talk about everybody from Matt Olson to Austin Riley to Acuna to Michael Harris. Like, they have a loaded lineup. And then they obviously Rookie of the Year from last, Drake Baldwin. Who should, you know, I think they have a lot of talent. It's just how is it all going to come together, and can they get some of those arms back healthy again before we get to like the middle of the season?
Final prediction on how many games we win.
We're putting a we
we're
on
in Peach
it.
State,
If I had to guess right now, I do think the Braves have a good shot to win the division, but I'm going to sit somewhere. I'm going to say 84. I'm going to say 84 wins for the season. So they're not going to do as good as I'd hope for them to do, but I do think 84 wins might get you into the playoffs.
Better than last year is what you're going with.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think they'll get off to a better start this year than they did last year, and just by getting off to a better start, I think that'll automatically give them some more wins.
Yeah, hopefully our guy Hurston Waldrop, Thomasville native, hopefully he gets back soon. I think he's going to be cleared hopefully in April.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
You want to move these guys, I don't want to say too fast, but you don't want to move them too fast. You want to make sure that their arms are strong. So down the stretch, you have some of those guys. If you can get Sale, Strider, Reynaldo Lopez, Grant Holmes, and those guys back, and you have that kind of lineup, I think you can do some damage.
Yeah, well, coming up, we're still going to talk more baseball. The first game of the season happened last night. It was Yankees and Giants. We're going to recap all the highs, the lows, and our thoughts on the automated ball strike system. Welcome back into Sports Talk. All right, Aaron, it was opening night last night, only on Netflix. It was a very interesting
Did
game.
you give the quotation marks because you didn't enjoy it?
No, I gave it because opening night. It's supposed to be opening day. We don't have to get into that, but it was opening night. It was a very interesting broadcast. But Yankees at Giants, and I don't know how much of it you watched.
I went back and watched pretty much.
Max Fried did his thing. He pitched a gem, 6.1 innings, 2 hits, 4 Ks. What are your thoughts on his opening performance?
I mean, it's what Max Fried does. He's an ace for the Yankees. This is a guy that we knew once Atlanta lost him that he was going to go somewhere and produce, and that's exactly what he did. He's an opening day starter for a reason, so I expected nothing else but that. But when you look at this matchup, to me, it's the bats, but it's also kind of blends into what happened today. You watch Logan Webb participate in the World Baseball Classic, and he didn't look great. And then today we saw Paul Skeens, who also participated in the World Baseball Classic, and he didn't look great. So maybe Tariq Skubal had a little bit of a foreshadowing moment when he didn't decide to pitch that second game. Look, it's early in the season. You can't really judge when talking about game 1 of 162, but the Yankees did damage without Aaron Judge really doing anything. And so I think that's always a plus if you're the Yankees.
That's what I was going to bring up. I mean, you talk about high expectations. Aaron Judge didn't do a whole lot in the World Baseball Classic. Golden sombrero last night. But if you're a Yankees fan, are you happy that the rest of the lineup really contributed and you blew out this team 7-0? Or are you like, where's our MVP?
I mean, I think it's way too early to talk about where's our MVP. Aaron Judge is one of the best hitters in baseball, if not the best hitter in baseball for a reason. This is a guy that was hitting pretty well in the World Baseball Classic. He's a guy that had over 300 average last year, leads the league in home runs just about every year. There's zero worries. Baseball is one of those fickle sports where fans who react too early kind of get on my nerves. So I'm not saying this is you.
No, we got a lot of games left.
But there's 162 games,
yeah.
And slumps in baseball aren't going hitless for 3 games. Slumps in baseball are when you're going 3-4 weeks without getting a hit. So Aaron Judge will be just fine. Like I said, he's one of the best hitters in baseball. The Yankees have high expectations this year, and every year it's the Yankees should get to the World Series. They really do believe they're supposed to be in the World Series this year, and they play in a tough division with Baltimore being better. The Red Sox going to be surprising some people, and then we talk about the Orioles and what they're able to do with Gunnar Henderson having a good year. I think the Yankees will be okay.
Well, I mean, you talk about World Series. Can anyone conquer the Dodgers this year? I mean, who else is a candidate in the National League?
Well, when you have a $400 million payroll, it's going to be hard to find somebody that's going to be able to stay with you. I think one team you have to look at is kind of the Phillies. I think this is the Phillies' year where they kind of have to do it now. And this is an older squad. Bryce Harper's playing really well, but he's kind of maybe hitting that top part, back half of his career to where you're going to have to start winning now. I think the Phillies are going to be a tough out. The Mets have a lot of money, and they've put a lot of resources into that program, but they lost Pete Alonso. How are they going to kind of replace that bat? We're going to have to see about that. But I do think there's some other teams. I really, really like the Padres. They just have to play the Dodgers a lot. And when you have a lineup that has Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Will Smith and these guys up and down the lineup, and then you have the arms that they have, good luck.
Well, history was made last night with the automated balls strike system. I'll get that right one time. The call was upheld. It was Jose Caballero in the 4th inning. He said, I'm going to challenge that. And it was, in fact, a strike. Got just on the edge of the zone. You were telling me earlier you don't like that there's an ABS now.
I just think I get it. I get why people want it to be, quote, I'll use the quotation marks, that you do right. But at the end of the day, this is what made baseball so special, is the umpire strike zone. And they were all unique, so every game was different. I understand we want the ball to be 17 by 17 in the middle of the plate, but I think that what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing games be 15 to 14. We watch college baseball, and you see those high-scoring games. It's going to be that because these hitters are so good that if pitchers are not getting their pitches on maybe a ball outside, they're going to hit everything, and I don't really want to see that kind of baseball. I want to see guys that have to go up there and earn it, learn an umpire strike zone. I'm not a fan of it. Hitters act like they know the strike zone, and they challenge it. It's not a strike. Pitchers think they know the strike zone. Let an umpire have its own strike zone and just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I get it. We want to get the calls right, but let's leave the ball strike zone.
I think it's part of the game. It's like I told you earlier, sometimes you have a bad ump. That's just,
and it's not,
that's life.
Yeah, it's not this mindset of, all these old heads want to can't progress. It has nothing to do with progression. If there's an out safe call at home plate or at first base or fair foul, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But it's a subjective call. We've always wanted it to be a subjective call. I don't think we wanted it to be like everybody has a specific strike zone, and I think that's what made baseball unique. And it's what made talented hitters really great and talented pitchers really great when they can figure that out. And I think taking that away from the game is going to affect some of the gameplay and just the watching aspect of it. But who am I?
Just a fan.
Just
a loyal fan. Well, there was a whole slate of games today. Some already wrapped up. We watched the Mets-Pirates game earlier. Paul Skeens didn't really do what I thought he would do, but the Mets won 11-7. Padres, you talked about them. They lost to the Tigers 8-2.
That's what I was saying, right? A lot of high scoring. You already had the Brewers, Mets, Nationals already put up double-digit runs. The Pirates also were scoring a lot in that game. That game lasted forever. I think normally when we see hitters behind right now, it's because of the timing, and today it's now because of the pitching, or maybe it's automated ball strike. I don't know. Maybe,
who knows?
Maybe guys aren't swinging at balls that they normally would swing at because they know they can challenge. I don't know.
There another game today just wrapped up. Red Sox Reds. Red Sox got that one. Cardinals defeated the Rays, and tonight we got 2 nightcap games. Diamondback Dodgers and Guardians Mariners. And I want to give a shout out Parker Messick from Florida State University. He is making his opening day roster debut today. He got called up late last year, and I think that's really cool to have couple of homegrown guys making it to the big leagues.
I'm really excited for the Mariners. I think they have a good chance to make a deep run and get to a World Series, and we could see a Mariners-Dodgers World Series come October, and I think that would be a lot of fun. Cal Raleigh, you got Julio Rodriguez, and then, of course, a star-studded Dodgers lineup. I would dig that.
Well, coming up, we're going to move on to some high school baseball. Patriots are trying to make a run at state, but first they got to conquer the region. Find out which teams stand in their way after the break.
We're back here on Sports Talk. High school baseball is heating up. The Wilcox Patriots are trying to make another run at a state championship after falling 1 game short in 2025. The Patriots have now won 11 of their last 12 after starting 1-2 on the year. They defeated Dublin on Wednesday night, and they did so in dominant fashion. Deacon Harper, the junior, was special. Strong on the mound, tossing 6 1/3 innings. And this is a team, Blaze, that we've talked about over the last year that had to replace key contributors from 2025. Jake Howell no longer there. Johnny Nutt doing his thing at GSW, the big lefty pitcher. And then Trey Griffin, all 3 seniors gone. And Coach says the guys have embraced the challenge.
1% better is what we try to preach every day, 1% better. And we got some guys filling some roles that have been role players, but now expected to be the guy. And they're really stepping up. I think we're in a good spot, but we want to be playing our best baseball at the end of April into early May.
All right, if you look at the region standings, this one's a pretty tight region, specifically between Trutland, I think that's how you say it, and Wilcox County, both undefeated in the region, 9-0 and 7-0. Wilcox currently sitting in second place. The Patriots have 3 more region games to go, including 2 of those against Trutland. And that's on April 7th and April 10th. I'm sure that will ultimately decide the region. Maybe we'll have to get out there.
Totally, we should. And there's a big-time region matchup going down on Tuesday. Miller County sitting pretty at 12-0 in the region, but they have yet to take on the Blazers. Baconton suffered their lone region loss to Seminole County 2-1, but hey, they rebounded 3 days later, shutting them out 12-0. It's possible the region is going to be decided by this 2-game stretch, so Miller will travel to Baconton on Tuesday, and then the Blazers will be over in Colquitt on Thursday. First pitch for both those games is at 4 p.m., and we will be there for all the action. And here's a look at the Class A Division II Region 1 standings.
The biggest region on the planet.
Yeah, Seminole County currently in 3rd. They're sitting at 8-3, so they're not totally out of the conversation. Patala Charter in 4th, and Early County rounding out the top 5.
Well, how about some big news for a South Georgia coach who, at least was here in South Georgia, was at Georgia Southern. Hannah Hayden was announced today that she's taking over at Memphis, and what a career it's been for her in a short span. She started out in Moberly at a junior college, and how about this? She comes to GSW for 1 year and then heads to Georgia Southern. She takes GSW to their first Elite 8 appearance. She takes Georgia Southern to the most wins in over 20 years, and now she is headed to Memphis. Hayden will take over at the D1 program after a record-setting year in Statesboro, and I will have to say I reached out to her just a few minutes ago, and she texted me back, and she's just extremely excited for the opportunity. All her players love her, and she is a great leader of women, and I think it's really, really special. So congratulations to her, and we're looking forward to watching her continue all her success.
Yeah, we got 2 new Memphis fans here now, but there's more women's college basketball news. Albany State officially names Todd Triplett as the ladies' Golden Rams head coach. It's about time. Triplett served as the assistant coach until Akia Stanton announced her departure. He stepped in as the program's interim head coach and led ASU to their first winning season in nearly a decade. The Lady Rams went 16-12 while reaching the SIAC tournament semis. And according to the university, his appointment will begin on April 1st. Congratulations, Coach.
He deserves it. He was special this year with that program and what they were able to do. So I'm really excited for him.
And the 3-day drought is over. March Madness is back. And after the break, we're talking all things Sweet 16. Welcome back. All right, Aaron, we had 3 days without some men's basketball. I was really suffering. But we got to talk about what happens in the first 2 rounds. Your Gators.
Wait, whoa. What are my Gators? I picked them last year.
And you had them in the championship round, and my condolences. And I was just wondering what went wrong in that game.
Nothing. It doesn't matter. I didn't pick them to win. They're just a team out of 64 that doesn't matter. Let's talk about Arkansas when they win it all.
Well, that was what I was going to bring up. Don't get too far ahead of me.
I just don't. I'm not going to put too much stock in March Madness first and second round games. Their upsets are going to happen. Some people are going to lose.
Yeah.
You're going to have some teams like Iowa have good performances, and Florida probably still should have won the game. They didn't execute at the end, but it is what it is. We move on. I think this is where tournaments are won in the next 2 rounds, and then you're going to see who obviously the best team in the country is for now over the next couple of weeks. But listen, I picked Arkansas to win it just because I had Florida in the championship game. I'm 1 for 1. I don't know why you always come at me, Miss. I'm a Duke
I was
lover.
just like, please let Florida lose so I can stand a chance to win this year. But any team surprise you in that?
I think Iowa was a surprise. If I have to look back to round 1 and round 2, I'm really, really disappointed in Georgia, and I haven't really got to say this on camera. What an embarrassing performance to be an 8 seed, and not only St. Louis is a good basketball team, but to not show up and to let 100 points be scored on you, to me, that is ridiculous. This is just one of those things that you can't really put into words what Georgia. What do you want to see from Georgia? You want to see better basketball than that, and I think they should be embarrassed by what they put on the floor.
Well, there are a couple games going down tonight, and one of them being Arkansas, Arizona. Darius Acuff Jr., your opinion? Is he still the best player in the tournament?
Yeah, he's the best player, not in the tournament. He's the best player in the country. He's the number 1 overall pick. Look, a guard.
He's going 1-1.
He should be the 101.
Okay, I'm going top 3.
Listen, the reason he should be the 101 is because his ability to score at all 3 levels is out of this world. This is a guy that's putting up 24 points a game, but he does it every which way. Yes, he finishes at the rim. He can knock down a jumper. He's a great leader. He's a playmaker with the ball in his hands. He reminds me a lot. And this he reminds me a lot of the way AI could score basketball.
Oh, yeah.
He's not as quick as AI. He doesn't have the handle like AI has, but his ability to put the ball in the basket is next level. And I think when you have a guy like Calipari who's talked about this being perhaps his best guard he's ever coached, and you look at the history of Shea and John Wall and the guys that have come through there or come through Calipari, I think that speaks volumes. So to me, it's not if he's the best player in the tournament left, or he's the best player in the country. He should be the number 1 overall pick, and I think he's truly a special player.
So will Arkansas beat Arizona tonight is my question. Because to me, Arizona is playing like the overall 1 seed. They are playing phenomenal basketball right now.
They probably are playing like the best team in the country, and it's going to be very, very difficult for Arkansas, specifically on the defensive end. Arizona is big, and they will pound you on the inside. They make no bones about it, and I think Arkansas might have trouble defensively. I could see this game getting in the 80s and 90s, like a high-scoring affair, because I do believe Arkansas will be able to keep up offensively. I do worry about their defense, though. And when you got, even though Acuff is the best player in the country, he's a smaller guy. I'm sure they're going to go at him a lot and try to get him on the defensive side to maybe wear him down a little bit. So there are some concerns there, but I give a guy that's had that much experience in Calipari, I can see him. I can see them getting it done.
Okay, well, Texas-Purdue is going down right now, and Texas is the last Cinderella team, I guess you can say, at the 11 seed. So we will keep you updated on how that goes. But we got a huge weekend of sports coming up. Morgan, she's going to be in Bainbridge. You're going to be – where are you going to be? You're going to be at baseball, Thomasville Fitzgerald. I'm going to be at opening day. So make sure you guys come back.
Opening day, you're going to Atlanta? Who let you do that?
I don't know. I have a great boss, you know. But we will be back here tomorrow at 11 for overtime and locker room report. Okay, so make sure you guys join us. Until then, who you got winning Iowa, Nebraska?
Give me Nebraska. I think Iowa's Cinderella run ends tonight.
Houston and Illinois?
Houston, but Illinois is going to give them problems. I like Illinois' shooting ability, and they're big, but not enough. I think they get it done.
I'm going Illinois, but we'll see. But thank you guys for joining us. And again, see you back here tomorrow night, locker room report and overtime at 11.